So today I am going to be dyeing some yarn. Now, I've showed dyeing yarn before and I've done it with Kool-Aid, I've done it with food coloring. Today it is food coloring, but it's the gel form instead of the liquid form, so it comes in little tubes. So this is new to me. So we're going to do it together and hopefully not have a disaster on our hands. So let me show you what I got going on. So this is fingering weight. It's a bunch of little minis that I'm going to dye up for my hexie blanket. And this is Knit Picks palette yarn, and I've just divided it up into 10-gram sections like you can see here. Now this is soaking in just plain water because I soaked this in water a while, or I soaked this in vinegar and water a while back when my daughter and granddaughter and I dyed yarn, and it still smelled pretty vinegary. All that vinegar does, it helps the dye absorb onto the yarn. So I didn't add any more vinegar since I could still smell it in the fiber itself, but it did need to soak for about 20 minutes in order to be completely damp. So I am going to wring this out gently, and then I've got plastic wrap laid out to put the minis on, and this is the gel that I am using. So we have yellow, blue, green, and red, just your primary colors. Well, technically green is not a primary color, but anyway, there's those 4 colors. So we are going to get started. So I'm going to start by getting this the water pressed out of it and then set on my plastic wrap. All right, so I have this laid out. I have it doubled because they're actually about this long, but I just have it doubled. I figured it would be easier to work with. So this one I'm going to do yellow, and I'm going to try doing blue dots or speckles in it because it's more solid. That might work a little bit better. So yeah, it almost reminds me of the icing dye that you put on cakes, because it's kind of gel looking, you can see. So I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to work it around. And I am wearing gloves because I don't want yellow fingers. And we're going to play music tonight, and wouldn't that be attractive? With multicolor fingers, talk about distracting. So I'm just trying to mop this up. You don't want the yarn to get too awfully wet. Okay, it looks like I could use just a little bit more in a couple spots. I do like this so far better than the liquid because I can control it a lot better. The liquid one, it just tends to make the yarn too wet, where this is not. Oh, here's a whole patch here that I missed. So you can see it right here. So there we go. Yeah, I will say this is much easier to work with. There's another patch I missed. Because it's not as wet, it's not running all over the place. I have had problems before where it was too wet. I put it in the microwave because you're going to cook it kind of in the microwave, and when I did that, it actually leaked out, and I have some strange colors in the corners of my microwave that will not come out. Alright, I think I've got it pretty well mixed. Now I think I'm just going to, I'm not going to mix this in. I think I'm just going to put some little dots of colors. Now this is just a hair bit runnier. I will say this is runnier than the yellow was. I don't know why, but it is. And then I'm going to turn this so I make sure I kind of get it all over the place. And I am kind of mopping it together, and so I am getting green. It's going to be yellow with green spots. Now I have learned from experience I don't want any heavy sections like this of the dye, because when I put it in the microwave it can overcook, And then I end up with burnt yarn that splits apart real easy, and I don't want that happening in a blanket. So I think that's about what I'm going to do with that one. I don't want to overdo it. So yeah, there we go. So I think maybe, I don't know if I can really shake this up or not. Can't really squeeze it, it'll pop out the top. Okay, so this time I am going to put, I think I'm going to leave some of this white and just put some red kind of streaks in it, so it kind of, now this is more gelled, so it kind of looks more candy cane-ish. So I'm not going to put as much in. Let's see what happens. So I don't mind if there's some white streaks showing through. I'm going to put a little bit more in here. Kind of looks like a crime scene, but that wasn't quite the look I was going for. I was looking more for peppermint. But yeah, right now it's looking crime scene-ish. Oh, and I had some blue on my hands come out. It'll be a unique design feature. Alright, there's that one. Like I said, it does look like a crime scene. Oh well. So this is the green this time. I did wash my hands, the gloves off, so I didn't have any of the red show up in the green. I might do that for one of them so it looks Christmassy, but didn't really plan on doing it as much. It's funny, this one is runnier too. Oh, here we go. Here's the more gel. Okay, let's work that in. I definitely like this better because my yarn is not getting totally saturated with water. I can kind of control, I feel like I have more control over it, where the water one I didn't. Okay, now let's get some spots that I missed. Sue Luther is probably laughing at me right now going, what a mess that I am making, because her dyeing was so much neater and so much better looking than what I come up with. But she is an artist, so she knows her colors and what goes good together. Me, it's just guesswork and hope it turns out. And I think I'm going to maybe leave this alone. I could put blue in it and I should, I think, get purple. Or is it red? I don't know. We don't want to play games. I don't want a gory scene Christmas going on. I don't remember which colors make purple. We might end up with that by accident, but I think I'm going to leave this one as a tonal green because if they go together, it looks sort of Christmassy. This one, I think I'm going to do different shades. I'm going to do some blue. I don't know why that blue is so runny. Should I shake it any? No, it still doesn't make any difference. I'm going to put a couple little blobs of blue. Oh, there we got a little bit of the gel. So it may be separated up top. So there's that. Then we're going to put some green. And we'll put some little red in here. It looks like it's all the same color, but it really, even when I'm looking at it, looks the same color. There we go. And then I'll throw some yellow in here too. Now this one I cannot squish together like I did the other, or I'll just end up with a big giant brown mess. So this one, I'm going to put the camera down for a minute because I kind of need two hands. So I'll put the camera back on once I finish doing this. Okay, that's what I came up with. Yeah, no comment. We don't know what that's going to turn out. It might be surprising. We might be pleased. We might be using it as sample yarn. Who knows? But there it is. Yeah, so we'll go with that. Now the last one here, as you can tell, I like blue. We're going to go with just a plain tonal blue because I fear I can't do too much damage. I want to make sure I keep it on my plastic or I'm going to have Technicolor counters and Dave will not be impressed with my artistic endeavors. Oh, look at that, it almost matches my gloves. It's the one problem of working with gloves is I'm taking the plastic with me. Keep trying to wrap myself up in the plastic wrap. Add a little extra here because why not? Don't you love these entertaining videos where we're all surprised at the end? Actually, that's pretty. I kind of like that with the darks and the light blues mixed in together. I like tonal yarn sometimes. Sometimes speckles are fun, but sometimes just plain old tonals are good. Help balance out the other crazy colors. Like my multicolor that I have over there that kind of looks like Technicolor threw up. Okay, there we go. I'm going to take my gloves off so I can get this in the microwave. We'll do the next step. Okay, I've got them all in the microwave. Okay, they are all in the microwave. And I will say the gel is much easier. So, yeah, if you look close in the back, those dark spots in my microwave are purple from a previous dyeing experiment that went wrong with too much fluid. So I am going to put this in for 2 minutes and then check it. So this is after it has been dyed once. I think I'm going to do 1 more minute and then just let it sit until it cools down. You just let it so it absorbs in. So I'm going to give it 1 more minute and then I'm just going to let it sit in the microwave and cool, and then we'll wash it out in a little bit. So here goes my colors. I have to wash them out yet, but this was the multicolor. It's unique, but I think it'll crochet, or I think it'll crochet up kind of neat looking. So there you can see a little bit more. And here is the crime scene yarn, but it turned out looking more like a peppermint stick. I really like the blue, the tonal blue. So I've got some dark blues in here and some light blues and some real light blues. This I'm really pleased with. This is one of my favorites. Here is the green, and again it's tonal because you can see there's some darker spots and some like white spots that are almost like a pistachio color, and then it gets into a Kelly green, and almost in a couple spots like here it's almost an emerald green. And then this was the blue and the yellow that turned out to be more, there's some blue in there. There you can see some blue. So it's blue, yellow, and green. And the yarn is not super wet. I didn't over nuke it this time. The last time I did, I ended up burning some of the yarn, especially in sections like this that was too dark. I overcooked it and it ended up breaking the yarn because it basically burned it. So I'm real happy with this, and I'm just going to rinse it out and let it dry, and it'll be ready to be used. So if you saw Saturday's video, you already saw what the final product was that came out of the yarn. But in case you missed it, I'm going to turn the camera around and show it to you in a little bit better light. So here is the yellow and green one. Here is the tonal green one. This is one of my favorites, the tonal blue. I really like some of these deep blues that showed up in here. And here is the one that I thought looked like a crime scene, but it actually turned out nice. It's looking more red than what it really is. It's almost more of a pink. I mean, we do have a little bit of red in here, you know, in some of these darker spots, but most of it resembles a peppermint. So there's the red and white. And then the last one was the one I wasn't sure was going to turn out, and I actually think it turned out real well. And the colors stayed really vibrant, which I'm really happy with. And you can see that with all of these, that the colors stayed much more vibrant than I've run across with the liquid food coloring. So I think from here on out, I'm going to be using the gel just because I think it makes it so much nicer. It was a lot less messy, but I also think that the colors stayed much more vibrant and not as watered down looking. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And I will see you again in the next video, which will be tomorrow.